Hey everyone, Phil801 here with yet another easy to make common household materials project for emergency preparedness. Today what we're going to do is make another kind of stove. This one is commonly called an alcohol stove. And the materials for this are things you would typically find around your house. They're alcohol, rubbing alcohol, a couple tin cans, and toilet paper. So let's jump into it and check it out. Okay, there's a couple of different methods that we can use here. One is just using a regular large fruit can. This had peaches in it, and you can shove the toilet paper roll in here and use it like this if you want, but the drawback to doing it this way is that you don't have a way to store it so that the alcohol won't spill out. I can't reseal this very well. Now you could rubber band this tight or something, but it's not going to be a watertight seal, and it's still going to leak out alcohol and the alcohol will evaporate. And on the other hand, every time you use this, you could let it burn down and so that most of the alcohol is gone, but that'll use your stove up quicker. So this is one way you could do it, and this gets us truly to our common materials. The other way I don't love as much, but it's better. And I don't love it as much because not everybody has a quart paint can sitting around, and that's what this is. However, what this lets us do is store it, because this will seal tight. We can pound this in and store it, and it allows us to store our alcohol without it spilling, without it evaporating. So this is a better way to build it. But if you don't have one of these in an emergency situation, then I'm letting you know that you can do it this way. It's just not as effective. So the first thing we're going to do, obviously, is get our can. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the core out of this brand new roll of toilet paper. And the easy way to do that is to just dig in here and bend it over and basically collapse the rigidity of it to the other side, like so. And then you can just twist and pull this thing right out. We want to take that out. And if you go watch my fire starting wafers video, now you can make fire starting wafers. The reason we take that core out is because we've got to fit all of this in here. And to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to roll this up as tight as we can to make it as small as we can. So now I've got it substantially smaller, and I think that'll fit. You just got to work it in here. There we go. Now once it's in there, it's got a little bit of room to open up a bit. There we go. Now there are lots of ways to do these alcohol stoves, and my good buddy Kelly Allwood has a series of videos on making alcohol stoves out of tin cans. That's a little bit of a different type of stove. Works on the same principle, but it's built out of soda cans, and the main purpose for it is in an urban survival situation, being able to find a couple of tin can or soda cans, and those soda cans would be able to let you warm up a bit and cook. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to pour this alcohol into our can. Now this is 91% alcohol. And what that means is that 9% of the contents of this bottle is water. And there are several different types of alcohol that you can get. There's denatured alcohol, which is 100% alcohol, and that's going to burn the hottest. This is 91%. It'll burn pretty hot. The other common type is 70%. And it is 30% water, so it doesn't burn quite as good. And then there's 50%, which I've never tried, but I doubt that you would be able to burn very hot with 50% water. So what I'm doing is I'm just letting the toilet paper absorb the alcohol. It keeps drinking it up, which is a good thing because we want it to be full of the alcohol. And what it's doing is it's holding it all in there for us. And this will take almost this whole bottle. When you're burning this, you want to, about every hour, snuff it out, which you can do with this lid. You can just put the lid on and it'll put the fire out. But you want to snuff it out and refill it. So your alcohol is definitely your fuel for this. What I recommend is I have about 50 bottles of this in my storage. So if I need it, I've got plenty of it available. Now it's absorbed a lot. There's still some air coming up, so I think it's still absorbing some. But we'll let this sit and we'll move on to the next part of the project. And that is, like with our cardboard candles, or with our cardboard stoves, we used a cover to make a stove. And with this, we're going to use a number 10 can. So what I want to do now is get my number 10 can ready to go. What I need to do is I took the paper off. I need to take the bottom off, and then I need to punch holes in one side of it. So now that I've got the bottom off of there, I'm going to punch holes around the sides. So now that we've got it all cleaned up, now we need to build a grate. So I'm going to use wire that I have. You could use an old coat hanger. That's what, as far as staying with the household items principle, I would say a coat hanger. If you've got one of the old wire ones laying around. If you don't have one, then you hopefully have some wire laying around in your preps, and if you don't, I recommend that you make having several bales of wire be part of your preps, because in any kind of long-term situation, wire is a wonderful tool to have, and you definitely want to have plenty of it. So what I'm doing is I'm crossing through these holes that I've cut in here, and then coming through and twisting, and I'm just going to build a grill on top here. So once I've got my grill assembled, then I'll be able to put my cup on here and let it cook. So now we'll bring the stove back in and we'll get cooking. So what we're going to do is we're going to light this. You can see it takes off pretty quickly and pretty nicely. So real quick, I just want to point out, for safety's sake once again, that here we're burning inside on a granite counter. I keep a fire extinguisher nearby when I'm doing this, just in case. I just want to point that out for any younger kids or anything that are watching this and experimenting. Safety is always first. You shouldn't burn in the house. This is a controlled situation. I know that this flame isn't going to get any bigger than this, but anytime you're doing something like this, you should take full safety precautions. So now that we've got our stove back and got our grill done, we can just set our grill over it like this. Put our cup on it and let her rip. Okay, it's been about 4.5 minutes and we've just gotten to a boil. So this stove is heating very hot very quickly. You know, one thing to keep in mind here is to always have a pair of vice grips around. These things get dang hot, and if you don't have a bunch of vice grips in your preps, make sure that you get some. So one of the things that you can do with this stove is you can use it as a heater and control the flame like this, just by adjusting the lid, and it'll keep it from having a continuous big flame. Now it's the vapors that burn, so as the vapors escape around the side, you're seeing it flame up a bit. The thing is that this isn't hot. It doesn't burn below the alcohol level, so I can actually pick this up and carry it or move it around if I need to. And now to put this flame out, all I have to do is put this lid on and it immediately snuffs it. Then I can pound this down and put it in storage. So make sure you have plenty of alcohol for fuel, and you can cook you can heat, you can do a lot of things with this little stove. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel, check out my other videos, and be safe out there.